One of my favorite phones from the first half of the year was the OnePlus 6. It had a great package, great looking design, it had high-end specs, and it performed relatively well. And now we have its successor in the OnePlus 6T. It introduces some new ideas, some of them bold, but now it's time to compare the two quickly. The first thing that really stands out for me is how both these handsets are kind of spec'd similarly to one another, which again shouldn't be too much of a shock because this is a strategy we see implemented by many manufacturers that release two flagships in 1 year. They both leverage the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, their displays have the same resolution, although the OnePlus 6T does have a slightly larger display. They both have dual cameras in the back, but there are two areas I think that are a big improvement for the OnePlus 6T. And the first one being that the OnePlus 6T has a larger 3700 mAh battery, which is up from the 3300 mAh one in the OnePlus 6. This should obviously give it a little bit of a boost in terms of battery life, but we'll see how it performs. And the second thing is that the OnePlus 6T has greater band support, including band 13, which means that it will be compatible with Verizon's network. Now, besides how the specs are kind of similar to one another, the one thing that really gets underneath my skin is how the OnePlus 6T no longer has a headphone jack. I actually would have preferred a fingerprint sensor in the rear and a headphone jack, but I get why they made the decision to have the fingerprint built into the screen, not only for the cool, fancy, neato factor that comes along with that, but on top of that, if they went with the same implementation, then these phones would be very similar, pretty much to the teeth. And that's what makes this one different. They want to have a little bit of distinction between the two. So obviously, if they didn't go with that in-screen fingerprint sensor and they kept the fingerprint sensor in the back of the phone with the headphone jack, then we'd be all scratching our heads in confusion because it'd be as if they're re-releasing the same phone under a different name. And the last piece that really gets my attention is how the OnePlus 6T's camera is going to perform against its predecessor. Like I said, they both have dual cameras, so you're going to have those portrait effects. But at the press conference, OnePlus really touted the OnePlus 6T's superior low-light performance, and that's partly attributed to the new Nightscape mode, where it uses HDR and a combination of software tweaking to really enhance photos so that they're sharper, less noisy looking. But the crazy thing is that this mode is actually coming out to the OnePlus 6 as well. So who knows if there's going to be any difference between the two, or if they're going to be exactly identical. And that's it for now. The OnePlus 6T is going to be on sale for $549 very soon, which is a pretty good price for a flagship caliber smartphone. Then again, the OnePlus 6's starting cost of $529 was lower, but given how we have that new fancy in-screen fingerprint sensor, its support for more bands, and it has that larger battery capacity, I'd probably say that the $20 difference between the two is justifiable for the OnePlus 6T. So if you guys want to learn more about either handset, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V, signing off.